guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be making 3 super easy and delicious fudge recipes using just 2 core ingredients. I'm going to be showing you 2 different methods of how you can do this, one in the microwave and one on the stovetop. I'm going to be making an Oreo fudge, a Biscoff fudge and a Nutella fudge, but with this method you can pretty much make any flavour fudge you want. So I hope you enjoy the video and let's begin. The first fudge we're going to make is Nutella marble fudge. Now these are your 2 core ingredients. You need 1 tin of condensed milk, or 397 grams, and 500 grams of white chocolate. Make sure it's broken into pieces. You can use milk or dark chocolate, but you won't need as much of them. So I'll put all the measurements for those in the description below if you want to use a different chocolate. The first step is we're going to turn on our hob to about a low to medium heat so it doesn't burn. And then you're going to pour in your condensed milk. Then you're going to add your white chocolate. And you're going to start to stir them. Try and use a rubber spatula if you're using a non-stick saucepan so you don't scratch it. But you're basically just going to start stirring almost immediately because you don't want it to stick and you don't want it to burn. The first time I ever made fudge, I completely burnt all of it. So don't do what I did. So the white chocolate is starting to melt now and it's becoming thicker, which is exactly what we want. So I'm going to keep going until there's no lumps of white chocolate left. Okay, so our fudge is looking perfect. I'm going to take it off the heat now. So turn off your hob, and usually you guys would just move it to the side of your hob, but I'm going to push mine away. So you just want it to be completely off the heat. And now we're going to add our Nutella. I have 100 grams of Nutella here, so I'm just going to scoop that in. Yum. And then you're just going to fold it through just a couple of times to get a swirl effect. Just like that. Now, I'm gonna grab my tin so we can pour it in. In that goes. Oh my gosh, how good does that look? So if you can, try and pour it on evenly because then you don't have to spread it out as much. And then you can either smooth it out or you can just give it a little shake so it just lays out nice and flat, because the only problem is with this marble fudge is when you start to spread it out with a spoon, then you kind of ruin the top. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. We're gonna pop it in the fridge for a few hours, sort of 3 to 4 hours minimum, and we're gonna move on to the next one. Next up, I'm gonna be making the Biscoff Fudge. So same 2 ingredients as before. We're putting in the condensed milk and the white chocolate. And then same as before, I'm just gonna stir this until it's nice and thick and melted. Okay, now that's all melted and combined, I'm gonna turn off the heat, push this away, and then I'm gonna add our Biscoff spread. So, I have 100 grams of Biscoff spread. Scoop that in. I'm just gonna mix this in. I'm not gonna do it marbled this time. I'm gonna mix it in completely. So keep stirring until that's fully combined. You can leave it a bit marbled if you want. Now that's all combined, it's a really nice, almost like caramel color. I'm gonna add in some broken Biscoff biscuits. This is totally optional, but it adds a bit of texture and a bit of crunch to it. Just folding these through until they're evenly distributed. Now I'm going to pour this into our tin. Scoop that in. Ooh, almost over the side. I'm just going to push this one out to the edge. It's a bit thicker than the last one. So this one might look a little bit greasy on the top because of the Biscoff spread, but don't worry about it. It can look like that and it will be absolutely fine once you put it in the fridge. Okay, now if you want to, you can finish by putting some whole Biscoff biscuits on the top of it. So push those in. Have to open a new pack. Ooh. Perfect, that looks good. So I'm gonna pop this in the fridge again for the same amount of time as the last one, about 3 to 4 hours. And last but not least, I'm gonna be making the Oreo fudge. So I'm gonna be using a microwave method to do this one. So instead of using a saucepan and a hob, you're just gonna need a bowl and a microwave, of course. Same ingredients as before. So you're gonna put in your white chocolate, followed by your condensed milk. It doesn't matter what order these go in, by the way. Just make sure they go in the bowl, and make sure your bowl is big enough and microwave safe as well. Okay, now this is gonna go in the microwave at medium heat, so about 500 watts in 1 minute bursts, stirring in between until it's fully melted. Okay guys, so my fudge is nice and melted now. It took about 2 minutes. So I'm gonna pour in my Oreos. I've got in total, this is one that is for the top, I've got a whole packet here and I've got them broken into quarters. So just fold those in until they're evenly distributed. I always find when I microwave the fudge that it ends up slightly thicker, but turns out the same. So the trick here is to not fold it in too much, because otherwise your fudge will turn grey. Unless you want that look, then go for it. Okay, bringing in the tin, and then we're just gonna scoop that in. And then just spread that out to the edges. Just like that. And then I'm just gonna finish with pressing in a few Oreo quarters into the top. Again, totally optional. I just think it makes it look a little bit prettier. Okay, now this is gonna go in the fridge, same time as before, 3 to 4 hours until it's nice and firm and set. We're back, our fudge is fully set. We have our Nutella marble fudge, we have our Biscoff Fudge, and we have our Oreo fudge. So I'm gonna cut them up. You can cut them up into 1-inch pieces, so you should end up with 64 pieces of each, which makes them great for giving as gifts or for parties or something like that. But you can cut them to any size you want. So I'm gonna cut these up and I'll be back. So here are our fudges all cut up. Biscoff, Oreo, with its nice little chunks of Oreo through it, and Nutella, which I think is actually my favorite one looks wise. I just think the marbling is so cool in it. Store these in an airtight container in the fridge to keep them firm and fresh. That is the end of today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments section what recipe you'd like me to make next, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.